Come on and celebrate the world. Celebrate the world.
We're all born with genes. However, we're not all born the same. Who will you be? What will you become? Some people are born taller. Others are born shorter. Some with more hair than others, or have no hair at all. Genes make us who we are, what we are. When we are born, we do not know what we will become. It is the great mystery of Mother Nature. But what if Mother Nature made a mistake, an error in those genes that make us different from our parents? This error could change everything. From the being that we were supposed to become to something else. That change could be positive or negative. This change is called mutation. Mutation can be heritable. Other mutation can affect only the individual that has those mutated genes. We all humans are mutants because we all look different. We are not the same exact copy of each other. If you look at the right or to the left, you do not see a copy of you. You see another individual that has different skin color or maybe hair color. We are not the same. We are all mutants. The organism that have heritable mutation may affect its descendants if the mutation occurs in the cells that produce the next generation or affect the heritable material. Genes, as you may have guessed, are the manual of our cells that makes the parts of our bodies. There's about 3,000 different genes in each cell. Cancer can be heritable or it can be acquired. Cancer happens when a single cell in your body has an error in the set of instructions of DNA. The body usually eliminates those cells, or the cell self-destructs. But if it's not stopped, this cell will continue to divide and the error will be duplicated in the offsprings of the descendants of the cell. This is cancer. The acquired mutation is when there was a harm in the genes that makes cancer occur. An individual can have cancer if it's using tobacco, exposed to radiation, or ultraviolet, viruses, or even age. What is teratology? It is the study of abnormalities of physiological development. Animals that were born with defects having extra or less legs, heads, and other organs that they were supposed to have. A type of mutation is cyclopia. You see encyclopedia in Greek mythology or in those movies, the monster with one eye. What if that monster was based on something real? Cyclopia mutation. This name comes from the Greek mythology of the one-eyed monster. It's a rare form of mutation that is caused by none other than Sonic the Hedgehog gene, or SHH gene. This gene is named Sonic the Hedgehog because the founders thought it looked like his favorite game character in the microscope. This gene is important because it is necessary for the development of the front part of the brain, the forebrain. It is not only separates the right and left side of the brain, but it also splits the face symmetrically. It also controls the cell growth and the shaping of our body. Sonic helps create our faces. If you have too little of Sonic, you will end up as a cyclope. But too much, you will start to have another face. The face is supposed to be a certain size. a certain whiteness. In fact, when the face reaches that point, it will start to recreate another face. It is having discovered from the autopsy that Cyclops only have one brain, that there was no separation of the left and right hemispheres of the brain. That means that if there is no separation in the brain, then the eyes does not separate properly. Think about it. The right brain is supposed to control one side of your body and the left the other side. So it would make sense that since there's just one brain, there can only be one eye.
Helms has discovered a molecule that controls the shapes of our faces. Named after a video game, Sonic Hedgehog is one of the most ubiquitous signaling molecules in the developing embryo. Like Geoffroy, her experimental animal of choice is the chicken.
The experiment is to take a bead that's soaked in a Sonic Hedgehog protein and place it in a slightly different place in the embryo, still within the face itself, but in a region where Sonic isn't normally expressed, and then see what happened as a consequence of that.
By creating a surplus of Sonic, Jill Helms hopes to disrupt normal facial development. The eggs are sealed over, and the embryos left to grow.
I remember peeling back the Scotch tape and looking, and it was quite clear to see the egg tooth, which is the marking on the tip of the beak.
These tiny white specks seemed unremarkable, but they were a revelation. The beginnings of two separate beaks.
And I saw two of them, and I thought it was just a glinting of the light. And it was only when the embryo was dumped out into a dish and we started examining it more carefully, and then the next one came out and it looked the same, and the next one, and the next one, that we were really quite sure and very surprised and delighted.
1.05 in 100,000 birds are identified as cyclopia. Creatures born with cyclopia do not last long in this world. It is an extreme rare case to see a creature with cyclopia. Even though this disease is rare, it is terrifying how easy a creature can be born as a cyclop. An example could be a fish embryo. They can become cyclopathic if they are heated, cooled, irritated, exposed to chlorine, phenol alcohol, and more. There's a plant, the plant Veranus californianus, causes cyclopia to mammals due by a toxin in this plant. This plant sometimes is mistaken for hellebore, a plant that is used for treatment for mild discomfort in the first few months of pregnancy. So it is scary that if somebody mistakes hellebore with this plant, because they could have a cyclopathic child. So as we said before, Sonic controls our width and spaces between our ears, eyes, and nose. If we have too much Sonic, it starts to duplicate the structure of our faces.
A feline freak of nature. Two-faced cats are extremely rare. As these examples show, many are stillborn. Most terminate early in pregnancy, or they live just hours. In nature, they would certainly die.
It is a huge job to take care of animals that are deformed. And, you know, I think that this is just an example of how much we love our animals, that we will try to keep them alive.
Millbury, Massachusetts. One cat not only beat the odds, he became a sensation. Named Franken Louie, he's a healthy domestic feline adopted from birth by a veterinary nurse.
Oh, there you go. It's okay. You want to see the face?
Franken Louie's deformity is literally jaw-dropping. Another case of a genetic signal to build two faces instead of one. But Frankenlouis has more than just a few duplicate parts. He has two entire faces. As this X-ray of another double-faced cat shows, a hodgepodge skull is chaos.
In this case, the faces are so separate that you can see 4 eyes, 2 mouths, 2 noses, etc.
Frankenlouis' biggest challenge? Battling blind spots. For a 180-degree view, he swivels his head from side to side. His brain takes care of the rest, fusing images to form a complete picture. This extreme double-feature mutant may never be considered normal, but he's one of nature's most incredible creations.
Conjoined twins are two babies that were born connected to each other, that they were not able to separate. Conjoined twins are mostly girls. They have a 77% probability and a 70% fuse at thorax or abdomen. Chances of survival are really small. Since most of conjoined twins die at birth, there's only a 25% chances of surviving. The conjoined twins can be separated by a surgery, but it depends on where the twins are joined and how many organs they're sharing. Conjoined twins are classified by where they're joined. Trochocampus twins are joined at the chest. They often share the heart and may also share the liver and upper intestine. Ompelophagus twins are joined near the belly button. Craniopagus twins are joined by the head. Since conjoined twins are so rare, there's no clear cause of why conjoined twins occur. Many believe that conjoined twins are caused by the environment and not by a problem of genetics.
St. Louis, Missouri, at the world's only two-headed reptile convention. These scaly serpents look like kissing cousins. 4 flicking tongues, 8 black eyes, 4 hissing mouths. One's named Golden Girls, the other's called Wee, a mutant courtship from another planet. Golden Girls is a star in her own right. Born in captivity, she hails from West Fork, Arkansas. This devoted owner collects rare reptiles, but Golden Girls is his prize, with a $20,000 plus price tag. Her albino coloring's also extremely rare. The rest of her rat snake kin are black. But Golden Girl's most striking mutation is her second head. The conjoining happened in the womb, not in the genes. This X-ray of a similar two-headed snake shows a clear fork in the spine, the result of 2 twins failing to separate completely even after forming 2 craniums. Like these other two-headed snakes, Golden Girls has a condition called polycephaly, meaning multi-headed. Two-headed snakes sometimes attack themselves, thinking they're seeing another snake. Golden Girls' heads often disagree, fighting over their direction. And some speculate she may even share sex traits from 2 separate genders. It's all part of 2 being forced to live as one.